I've had many conversations with friends who are considering getting the IUD, and they say they're really freaked out about the pain and just the idea of having something inserted inside you. And I just tell them it's like 15 seconds of pretty ouchy pain, and then a little bit of cramping, but it's worth it because it's such a long-term method of birth control. And you can, to have 5 years of birth control and 15 seconds of pain is what you have to pay for that. Like, it's just, that's not something that should prevent you from getting it.
My provider knew what she was doing. She's done it a lot, so I felt very comfortable with her doing it. There was maybe a slight pinch, like when at least my doctor told me when it was gonna happen, and she's like, okay, now try to relax your muscles and you're gonna feel a slight pinch. You definitely feel that, but the cramping didn't start until after I got back to my dorm.
I did have some side effects the first few weeks after getting it. I had some spotting for actually probably about 3 months, and then it went away, and I haven't had any issues since then, but they said that was to be expected, so it wasn't a big issue.
I went in, I took ibuprofen, like about 3 ibuprofen pills, and the insertion was quite fast and simple. It was almost like the feeling of a pap smear, that uncomfortable somebody's in there feeling, but it was quick. The pain came afterwards as your body adjusted to the Mirena, and the way that I described it was menstrual cramps. And that pain probably lasted about 2 days, but I was able to just kind of stay home, watch some movies, and take my ibuprofen. I didn't need anything else, like any other additional pain medications.
At first, being genderqueer and kind of presenting masculinely, I had a hard time getting the courage up enough to go to a health center and say, like, hey, I'd really like to learn more about the IUD. Getting an IUD, for me, it was painful maybe for about 10 seconds, but then I think I was more proud of myself with the stories that I had heard from other people as far as pain goes. But it was a very simple, quick process. I'd say it took probably about 10 minutes for the whole kind of start to finish.
The insertion is kind of like a pinch, and after the initial pinch, your uterus cramps up immediately, really quickly. And it is painful, but not unbearable. The insertion's only 1 minute, and then after that, you just have cramping. You kind of have to bear through it until your uterus is like, okay, we're friends, we're gonna work together.
So when I first got my IUD inserted, the physician there, she explained to me, like, she had a model, she explained to me how it was gonna work, what the process was and stuff like that. So when we went in, it was very painful, like in the sense that, it's something poking and prodding. If you squeeze something, I was squeezing my boyfriend's hand like really hard, and that helped a lot. The doctor was like talking and stuff, like, like, it's okay, we're almost there, you're doing great, stuff like that. So she was really helpful in that sense, like it really calmed me down. I didn't feel any like small pain until maybe like an hour or so after, when I think the medication was wearing down.
Obviously, getting it put in is not the most fun thing in the world to do, but I was mentally prepared for like a lot of, cramping and pain and stuff like that afterward. People say like, oh, it's awful, like, you're gonna need heating pads and make sure you take like the day off of work and all that stuff. And so I got mine put in like the afternoon, and I had the whole rest of the day off, taken it off. I like gotten heating pads, gotten painkillers, gotten like, a bunch of things to sort of like take the edge off Nutella. Like I was like, I'm ready. I'm totally prepared for, whatever this is. I'm like sitting there with Netflix. I'm like, I'm good to go. And then nothing happened. I was like, okay, just me watching House of Cards. And I could have gone to work.
Well, the insertion process was very hyped for me. I had a lot of friends who had gotten IUDs before, and one of my closest friends' girlfriend had gotten an IUD, and he told me that she screamed the whole time. So I was terrified going into it. But luckily the nurse I had was very nice and helpful, and like minus like 5 minutes of some deep cramping, it was
honestly like really okay. I think it really depends on your body and how you handle it and stuff, but honestly, I think it's so worth it.